The day after, the night before, have we all recovered? Have we all slept? Have we all been able to process what we witnessed at the MCG? Whether you were lucky enough to be there in person or whether you were watching from afar. What a game. What a game. Welcome back to the channel. I've travelled from Melbourne to Sydney, a little bit tired and weary. It was a late night working in Melbourne, but as I said in the video yesterday from the MCG, if you haven't seen that, I was so privileged to be there. One of the great Lions test matches, one of the great occasions, and it was just absolutely brilliant. What a result for the Lions, what an ending, what a gutter for the Wallabies. Yeah, just so much to get into. So welcome back to the channel. I thought in this video, as I say, I've just touched down in Sydney, and I thought I'd maybe just do a video expanding on some of the thoughts from the game and off the back of it, and the Lions winning the series, talk about the Wallabies as well, and maybe some of their preparation, the clear out at the end on Carlo Tizzano, all that sort of stuff. So anything you're feeling and thinking about this match, then do have your say in the comment section, because as I keep on saying, I really think we witnessed one of the great games, one of the great historic Lions test matches. So let me know, like the video as well, and I'd love it if I earn your subscription as well. Just hit that subscribe button and then you won't miss a single thing. So as I've said loads already, I keep saying it about this game. It was such an amazing atmosphere and occasion, and it was everything we hoped this would be. When we heard about the second test at the MCG, you hoped that it was an occasion that would live up to the billing, and it absolutely did that. And I actually think it's really important for this tour that happened, because, and I've spoken about it on the channel, and the tour games didn't exactly ignite. The first test was kind of great build up to the game, really good first 10 minutes, and then went a little bit flat because it was fairly one-sided. And I feel like probably one of my takeaways from having been fortunate enough to be on this Lions tour is going to be Lions tours almost feed off moments and historic moments. Like that's those legendary highlights and memories are what give these tours oxygen and what continues to grow the legacy. And I was probably before Saturday thinking we haven't had that moment on this tour. I don't think we had it on the last tour either, which was for its own context during COVID, and we had the Razzie video and things kind of got a bit toxic and not that enjoyable, but we hadn't had it on this tour either. I was thinking you needed that moment, and we got it last night. The game itself was brilliant. The Wallabies were excellent to race into that lead, and then the Lions come back, culminating in the Hugo Keenan try. Even the kind of officiating clear-out controversy at the end, bit of a throwback to 2017 and the end of that third test where the Lions got away with one. But all of that, I think, feeds into what the Lions is all about, and these moments that we cherish and we replay over and over again. They're an amazing team, the Lions, because it is so much about legacy and history and famous moments, from Jeremy Guscott's drop goal to Justin Harrison's stolen line out in 2001 to 2009, Ronan O'Gara giving away the penalty at the end of the game. 2017, the Lions drawing that second test. Like, so many historic moments. George North, Israel Folau 2013. And I think you can add to that Hugo Keenan's winning try 2025. I think this series needed it. I think the Lions needed it. And it was just awesome. And maybe that's enough for me in terms of how monumental this was for the Lions to win a test series. And I went to the press conference after. These were the thoughts of Andy Farrell and Maro Itoje, the questions I posed to them about this series and about this win. Andy, Maro, congratulations. Andy, that's the biggest comeback in Lions history, and you did it with the final play to win the series. Does it get any better than that?
Well, not really, no. When you see what it means to everyone in there, you can hear them, can't you? These lads have dreamed of being a British and Irish Lion all their lives. And to get to the point where we come to the MCG, 90-odd thousand people, with a dramatic finish like that to win the series, is what dreams are made of, and no one can deny that for us now. It's a special moment for everyone. So we are absolutely delighted that we showed the courage of what it takes to be a Lion, and delighted for everyone involved.
You didn't make it easy tonight, but how did you turn it around? The Wallabies really caused you some problems in that first half.
Well, and congratulations to them, fair play to them. They turned up and they said they were going to turn up physically, but it wasn't just that. They played a great brand of rugby, whether it be their kicking game, 50-22s, etc. Moving the ball around, etc. They played a great brand of rugby. I suppose we certainly added to that with our discipline for sure in the first half, but we kept on finding a way, and that's the pleasing thing, the best thing about it. We kept on finding a way, even in the later stages though, of the first half. Every time that we got down into the 22, we looked dangerous, and that obviously was a nice way for us to go into half time. And then again, it wasn't all going our way in the second half, but the way that we held our nerve and when we got down to that last 10 minutes was outstanding.
And it was still a bit of a nervy wait at the end. What did you make of the clear out?
I thought it was a brilliant clear out. Did you? I thought it was a brilliant. I mean, yeah. Honestly, I mean, it depends which side of the fence you come from. I would have thought so. I can understand, people's opinions, but I thought Jack was brilliant when he came on, and so were the rest of the bench.
And you've spoken about wanting to win 3-0 here, but what does the plan look like for the next few days? Has it changed now?
No. The plan will stay the same. Win or lose, we trust the plan ahead. So we'll make sure that we enjoy tonight. That's for sure, because we've just made a bit of history. So we're delighted with that.
And Maro, just a couple, if that's all right. There aren't too many Lions captains that are winning Lions captains. How much does that mean to you?
No, it means the world. But I'm just delighted for everyone involved. It's been a massive squad effort. There's been, all the players who's come in, who've now left, the guys who got injured at the start, who added to what we're doing, all the backroom staff. This has always been the goal, to get for the results to be this way, this point in the tour. And we're just delighted. This is what dreams are made of.
And I know you'll enjoy tonight, but just finally, how much is a motivation for you, the 3-0 still, and being unbeaten on Aussie soil?
When we met, I think the first time we met, was it London or Dublin? When we met, Big Faz made the call. He wants us to go out here and win. He wants us to win everything. So don't get me wrong. Absolutely delighted with the result tonight. But we want to go again next week.
Yeah, it was good fun chatting to the Lions. You could hear more and more, actually later on in the press conference, the noise coming from the dressing room, the songs being sung. Atoje at one point even said, "You see what I'm missing? You see what you guys are making me miss out on?" So, yeah, great moment. And deservedly, they would have had a pretty late, heavy night, I would imagine. I wanted to chat about Maro Atoje as well, because he has entered, as I kind of asked him there and put it to him, a pantheon of greats. There are not many Lions captains. There are even fewer Lions captains that are winning captains. And he joins that group. Martin Johnson, Sam Warburton being the most recent ones. It's a really, really special group. I think he's led this team really well personally. I've spoken throughout the tour that I think he's really grown as a leader throughout his career, Maro Atoje. That was a pleasing moment, I thought, to see him captain this team and captain them to a series victory. And I suppose the one other thing that I wanted to say on the Lions, having been out here and spoken to them, is there is a genuine togetherness of this group. We often hear about it, don't we, and the importance of it for Lions tours, that everyone comes together. And I think it was Jack Conan in the mix zone yesterday that said that everyone in this group is a great bloke, and there's no one that doesn't get along, and it's a really tight-knit group. And I think we have seen that on this tour. And you saw the way in which they celebrated the full-time whistle. The players, I think, took some of the plastic chairs out onto the pitch at the MCG and were having a few cans of beer and enjoying things afterwards as well. I think this is a real tight-knit, together group. So yeah, awesome for the Lions, historic moment. Let's talk about the Wallabies. Absolutely gutting for them. I really felt for them. You saw their faces and how dejected and gutted they were at the end of that game. I should have a huge amount of pride in terms of the way they went about their business in the second test. I thought they were excellent, particularly for, 50 minutes probably. I thought they were really, really good. And then the Lions bench came on, it had more of an impact, it had more quality, it had more experience, and you just felt the match slipping away from the Lions, away from the Wallabies. Only just, mind you. It took the final play of the game. But I also suppose for Australia, like the frustrating thing maybe for Australia fans, I don't know, you can let me know, there's rightly going to be loads of pride here. Is there also an element of, God, where was that a week ago for that first test in Brisbane? I still wonder if they were a bit undercooked for the first test, whether they needed that extra warm-up game. They had the match against Fiji. Did they need another one before the first test? And I get it's difficult because they're at the start of a pretty long international calendar. The Rugby Championship away in South Africa for them starts 6 days after the final test. So I get it's not easy, but I just wonder whether they were slightly undercooked for the first test and how much they'll look back and feel frustrated with that. But then I suppose the series doesn't just come down to one moment or necessarily one match. They were leading here, they had a big scoreline. The 2 tries before halftime, absolutely crucial for getting the Lions back within touching distance, just changing the momentum of the game. I'm sure there'll be loads of little moments that they look back on and just think, if that had gone differently, if we'd done this in a different way, then maybe it would have been different. But I'm so glad that we had that moment, as I've said already, but also for the Wallabies as well. Like the signs of life, they're a funny team, aren't they? Because every so often, I mean, we saw them in November when they came north last year and some of the great performances they put in. You see it every so often in the Rugby Championship where they'll really push the All Blacks close or South Africa and sometimes get a win here and there. Like they are capable of mixing it with anyone in the world, but it is the consistency. I think that maybe comes down to depth at the moment. Is that fair? When Skelton and Valentini went off, I know Gleeson's a really good replacement, but they lost an element of power. They've obviously got a young 10 in Liner who's really exciting, but is at the start of his international career. Like maybe they're just not quite in that position yet. I guess the hope is that they are able to eventually get there. And the final thing I'll finish on, I did most of my thoughts on the clear out in the video yesterday, where, to be honest with you, I thought it was one of those that you can see it both ways. And looking at the reaction to it, you've got some people on one side that think it's absolutely outrageous. The refs clearly missed a really bad clear out. And then you've got some people that think Jack Morgan's clear out technique is absolutely perfect and it's a brilliant piece of play. And I think those two polarising sides kind of tell you all you need to know. It could have gone either way. And it ended up going in favour of the Lions. But I don't think it is the huge controversy that maybe some people think it is. I think rugby throws up these decisions, particularly in the breakdown, which is like so many moving parts, so difficult to officiate, that, yeah, I think it could have gone either way. Had it been awarded as a penalty, I don't think I would be on the channel saying that was outrageous. But equally, the fact that they didn't give it as a penalty, I don't think is outrageous either. Like, it's just, could have gone either way. It went in the Lions' favour. With Carlo Tizzano, what about his reaction? Because I feel like there's a wider discussion to be had here, not just about this incident, but more and more I think we are seeing players react in a way to try and draw the officials' attention to something, particularly at the breakdown, because if you react in that way, you know they have to look at it. And I'm sure he was a little bit banged up. It was a lot of momentum from Morgan and it was close to the back of the neck, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have been harmed, but was his reaction exaggerated, I suppose? That's my question. Was his reaction exaggerated to draw the officials' attention to it? And I feel like that is something we're seeing more and more, not just in this game, not just with him. I think we've seen it from British and Irish players, not on this tour, but certainly I've watched games domestically and internationally. You see players do this. I don't know what the solution is, but I do feel like that is an issue that's creeping more and more into the game. Do you agree? And what do we do about it? It's a tough one, isn't it? So there we go. Give me your views. Second test thriller at the MCG, the 26th of July 2025, will be forever remembered as a famous day in the history of the Lions, which is exactly what the Lions needed. Comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, see you in the next one.